Hi, welcome to one more episode of Zindagi Ka Safar. And when we are talking about Zindagi Ka Safar, I think the first thing is about when we get born. Yeah? And today we are very fortunate. So I am being joined by Suraj, and who is celebrating his Golden Jubilee birthday today. So first of all, Suraj, welcome to the show and wish you a great happy birthday and have a wonderful year and years ahead of you.
Thank you, Tuhin. First of all, thank you for having me with you today. I'm really happy that it's happening on the birthday actually for the birthday itself actually. Yeah. So first and foremost, I just saw a few episodes of yours and it is quite interesting. And then you told me, then I thought, let me also come in and do it.
Yeah. So it's very nice that given that. So I will not take much, maybe 45 minutes of your time so that you can go back to your celebrations, which is there. But then let's start off from the beginning. So where were you born? Where were you? Where did you grow up? And what schools did you study? And then we'll come to our relationship when we were there together. I will not call it relationship. That's not the right word.
Yeah, definitely.
Our knowing each other when we were in MBA colleges. So where were you born, Suraj?
Yeah, I originally from Kerala, born in Attingal, a place about 30 kilometers from Trivandrum city. And my parents hail from Trivandrum district itself. And both of them were bankers. And so both of them were in State Bank. And because of that, every 3 years, 4 years, they used to get transferred. So I would say that I was fortunate to move around India, all over India, because of their work. And by the time I finished my 12th standard, I had been in 5 states and 8 schools.
Okay.
And I was in Coimbatore, Bangalore, Cochin, then Ahmedabad, as well as Calcutta. In fact, Calcutta was a place where I was there maximum about 5 years. My 10th and 12th was in Calcutta.
Okay.
I was in Julian Day School for my 10th and St. Thomas Kidarpur for my 12th. Okay. Then we moved to Ahmedabad, and then from there had actually joined my first year degree in Ahmedabad, but then my dad got transferred to Bangalore, so we came down to Bangalore, and then I continued in Sheshadripuram College, which is quite close to where you stay, not very far from there. Yeah. So there, of course, Karthik was my classmate. Okay. Karthik was in the same college, in Sheshadripuram College. And then, of course, 93, we went to TAPME together. 2 years we were there. 95, we passed out. So, okay, I was fortunate that my parents looked after us very well, myself and my sister. She's a doctor. She's settled in the UK. And myself, I am in Kenya for the last almost 23 years now.
Wow.
So, yeah, because from the campus TAPME, I was recruited by TCI Finance. Initially, I was in second Rabrad. And then they asked me they had branches all over. So they asked me, where do you want to go? I said, Bangalore. Okay. The reason being my parents were in Bangalore. And I think that time you were in Pune or somewhere there. I mean, Nagpur.
Yes, I was in Bombay, I think. Mumbai.
Yeah.
Mumbai or Nagpur, one of the two.
Yeah, Trivikram was in
Bangalore.
Sonata at that time. Bangalore, he was in Sonata at that time. He was in Bangalore. Of course, our association in TAPME was there for 2 years plus. And moreover, I think the reason we got close is because we were sharing those close roll numbers and we were in most of the projects together.
So you were 39?
Roll number 41.
No, you were 40.
I was 41, I think. 41, 42, 43, like that. Yeah.
42
that is
was
you,
Trivikram?
me. I think so, yeah. And then you were 43. 40. And then Vijayanand 44, I think. It's like that. So I think we ended up in
Uma
the same...
was there, I think.
Yeah. Then we were ending up the same groups for all the project work and things like that. I think that's how we got close. And so 95, when we passed out, initially 6 months I was in Secunderabad, then came down to Bangalore. Bangalore, the group was quite a large group there. So at that point of time, we used to meet. I mean, all the Bangalore guys
quite
used to meet.
regularly.
Yeah, because we were just out of college and we were still keeping in touch, and so we were there. And that's how it was, and that's how the life went on. And then 1997 May, I came to Kenya.
Okay. So we'll come to Kenya and about your work. So a little bit about your study and schooling which you were there. So when you said you were in different schools and I think different states which was there, so how easy or difficult for you was it to adjust to go everywhere? I think you had to make new friends, and how was that life of yours?
Yeah, well, it was very difficult actually.
Okay.
For me personally, because I used to get scared getting into a new school all the time, especially when I was very young. And I used to be intimidated by the feeling that I'm going to a new school, totally different people. I mean, language is different. And, when I come from Cochin to Calcutta, and then, I've got a strong Malayalam accent, and people make fun of you. And this is difficult to get used to. So that challenge was there. But the good thing was, I picked up so many languages in between. I mean, I could not say that I am an expert in all the languages, but I can speak a little bit of Bengali. I can understand quite well. Kannada, I'm quite okay with Kannada. Tamil, I learned. Malayalam, of course, is the language we speak at home. So like that, there are advantages, there are disadvantages. It's like jack of all trades and master of none, so it is like that. So, but it was an experience. I mean, I don't regret anything. I mean, I would feel myself that I'm lucky that I had that opportunity to, move around in India like that. And good thing was my parents, my dad and mom, they look after both of us quite well. And every holidays we used to go. And my dad used to be a person who used to like traveling and adventure and things like that. And every holidays we are either in Darjeeling or we are in North India, we are in South, we are in Delhi, like that. So, I mean, my childhood was very happy childhood. And in spite of this moving around and things like that, but I can't complain.
Yeah, because I think, as you rightly said, it was a learning experience. And I can definitely say about your Bengali, it's much better than mine. Yeah, so I always used to envy you, saying that, yeah, this guy was there for only 5-6 years and he's speaking much fluent Bengali, because I have not stayed in Bengal. And then what ends up happening at home, though you speak the language, but as boys, how much time are you there at home? Yeah, you are there, and the only thing you will say is, "Mom, give me food." Yeah, "Ma khete dao," kind of thing, and that's what is the maximum. So you don't have a conversation so much at your own language, because you hear so much scolding by the parents, so you understand those part of it. But then you are not talking too much. So I really, even now, I struggle, and my wife keeps on saying that. And the other thing is, I think you. What I realized during these 2 years is you make friends very easily. Maybe that's one part, must be part of your personality, definitely. But also maybe because you have gone, I think it's very natural for any child to be little apprehensive when you're going into a unknown environment in a school, how the teachers will be, how the students or co-students will be. But you make friends very, very fast. So I think that's a part of your personality, which is very affable.
Maybe there's something which you have observed, and I don't personally. I mean, I don't understand that way. Maybe it's because because of being in different settings. Probably that.
Okay. So so as you had said, we had all passed out in 1995. After a couple of years, then you moved to Nairobi. So how did that transition happen? That you decided to take up a job outside India, and that too in a place like Nairobi or Kenya?
This is a story which I never get tired of telling.
Okay. Actually, we'll also hear it out. Yes.
Yeah. Because what happens is, especially to Tapmians and our batchmates, when I tell the story, they find it quite funny. It so happened that when we were initially passed out and then we were there for the first year, once you complete the first year, there is a tendency for everyone to jump look for new opportunities and stuff like that. So it's just an year we are passed out, and then we are in the, like initially we are management trainees, and then we are becoming assistant managers in our respective companies wherever we are working. And then, we hear that, oh, this guy's moved from here to there, and, it's also time for you to move and things like that. And so happened that, Bangalore was a happening place that time. And a lot of our batchmates were in smaller towns, like I believe. And one of the reasons, and I would say that I landed up in Kenya is because I'll give the credit to Mohit Menon, our batchmate.
Okay.
So what used to happen is Mohit used to travel to Bangalore like once in a 3 months or 6 months something. He comes and he will be coming, probably sometimes he stays with me and sometimes with somewhere else. And then we used to go around, and he used to leave his CVs at different management consultants' office.
Okay.
So like I was his chauffeur, I was just picking him, dropping him, taking him everywhere, when he was in Bangalore. Then I was thinking that, why is the hell, man, I'm doing this? I should also be dropping my CV everywhere. So then I decided that I'll also drop. So we went to ABC consultants, Omam consultants. I don't know who are the HR consultants at this point of time. That time they were the ones which are major ones. So we were dropping CVs. And one day it so happened that I just got a call from one of the consultants and said that there is a company in Kenya. It's a manufacturing company. It's a manufacturing company, and they're looking for a finance manager. And would you be interested? So of course, there is the urge to go abroad, and there's the opportunity, and then it was coming. So I wouldn't say no. I didn't say that I didn't want to do it. I mean, so I just said, okay, I want to attend the interview. So we had a series of interviews. We had one of the directors of that company come down to Bangalore. It was in that there is a hotel. It used to be called Lee Meridien. I don't know what it is called now. Near the golf course.
Might be same.
Yeah. So we had an interview there, and then I am among one more guy who was a production manager. We were picked up, and like we were told to come within a couple of months. So I had to quickly quit where I was working, and I just landed up in Nairobi. So prior to coming to Nairobi, I didn't know where Kenya was in the first place, and I knew it was an African country, but geographically I didn't know where it was. So just one fine morning in May, I think it's May 5th or May 8th or around that time, 1997, I landed in Nairobi. And that company, I served them for about 8 years. It's called FlexPack. It was a manufacturing company, and I was looking after finance. And it was, we had about 300, 400 employees there. And after 4 years, they made me the GM. So I continued in that group. Then later on, I had another opportunity. So I moved to another group. So that was in 2007. So yeah, so that was like, that means I was there for almost 10 years, not 8 years. So 2007, I moved to this other company, and last 13 years, I am with them.
So have you also, in addition to this, I think you have also started something on your own. You started a mineral water plant in Kenya. So is this the same organization, or this is a different venture?
No. Actually, I'm working for a company called Express, and that is part of a group of companies. They have got interest in different things. They are into mining, they are into steel making. They are regionally quite active. Means Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda, in that East African region, they're quite active. So I basically look after this company called Express Company. We are in basically trading. So we got some agencies for chemicals. So there's a Swiss multinational called Lonza. So we are their representatives in Kenya. So we distribute their products. Similarly, we have got other products which we distribute for other companies based out of Dubai and other places. So I look up, personally, that is my core area. I work for that company. I look after this particular company. This is and then apart from that, I got additional responsibilities of the group finance matters. So the group, whenever I'm required, I handle the group finance issues, especially banks and institutions and stuff like that. So basically the corporate finance, that level. But day-to-day operations, I don't get involved in day-to-day operations of group companies. What had happened was while I was with this company, and it so happened an opportunity came up. So it was in 2010, and a group of friends, but we are about 4 families. We got together and said that, okay, we will invest in a company for manufacturing mineral water. Okay, so there I'm basically an investor and a director, but I do not get involved in day-to-day operations because I cannot do justice to my work if I am getting involved on a day-to-day basis there. My wife was very much involved there for almost 3.5 years. So that business, we have about 50 employees. We got 2 expatriates. So initially we had only 1 expat, and then of course my wife was also there. She worked for about 3.5 years, 4 years. Then she said that, she wanted to, come out of it and then be with my daughter. So because she felt that, she's not giving adequate attention to her studies and stuff like that. And by the time we had got a second expat for the company, so we still have them with us. So they are there, and we have about 50 employees. So that one is what do you call? I don't get involved in data operations. I only give strategic direction for the company, and then we have these board meetings quite often. So that's it. That's how it's doing quite okay, and it's coming up quite well.
Okay, lovely. So when did you get married? Was it before you moved to Kenya, or you did your honeymoon in Kenya? How was it?
No, not really. I actually got married in 2000.
Okay, so you got quite
I
a
came
couple of
to
years.
Kenya 97 I came to Kenya. So 2 years down the line, 99, I got engaged around October, around 27th October. If I forget my engagement date, it's a crime. 27th October. I mean, okay. So 27th of October 1999, I came down to Bangalore and got engaged. My wife, actually, again, she's from Kerala only, but then they have settled outside Kerala for most of the time. Her parents are presently based in Bhilai, Chhattisgarh state, So, and they were in Ranchi and all. Apparently, my wife went to the same school where Dhoni went in Ranchi. Of course, Dhoni was junior to her, but they were in the same school. They know the family and the friend circle and everything. So I mean, 1999 engagement, 2000 was the marriage. And then after marriage, she came along with me. And we are blessed with 1 daughter. Her name is Sania. Now she's doing her IB. That is the pre-degree course, basically. So IB is called Diploma Program, IB1, first year. So next year she will complete her IB, the second year, and then she'll be eligible to apply for universities. So that's it. So next year she will be probably moving out of Kenya, so wherever she gets an admission. That's it.
So that's lovely. So now let's maybe speak about the place, because as you said, we had not heard too much about Kenya, because specifically from a work perspective. But I think as a tourist destination, this is always top of the mind for any person which is there, because everyone's, I think, bucket list will most probably have Masai Mara as one of the places they always want to go and all. Now, since you are based there, so what is your perspective? Is it worthwhile to see, and is it for someone coming from India, will it be cost effective, and how costly will it be to maybe spend some time there, and how much time maybe we should spend there?
That's a good question, actually.
A lot of questions.
Kenya is a lovely place. To be honest, it's an absolutely beautiful place, and not just because of the wildlife, but because it is serene, calm. The weather is excellent. As I'm talking to you right now, the temperature is 18 degrees. And this is the way Nairobi is. I mean, Nairobi, it never exceeds 25, 26, 30 degrees. Very rarely it goes to 30. Otherwise, it's always very pleasant. And when it goes below, it goes 11, 12, not less than that. And so it is always like, in Kenya, we don't have ceiling fans in any of the places, houses.
It's like your Bangalore of 30 years back.
Exactly. Yes. The Bangalore of yesteryears. Yes, absolutely. Yes. Because it is like air-conditioned city. We used to call Bangalore air-conditioned city, if you remember, at one point of time. But now it's become concrete jungle.
It's becoming.
So so here that weather is something which you can't get anywhere. I mean, you go to Canada, UK, anywhere, that places, it can be extreme cold and, or extreme hot. And if you go to Dubai, something like that. So compared to that, the weather is so pleasant, you'll fall in love with the place. And then the good thing is, okay, there is a lot of greenery. There's a lot of national parks, you see. Of course, Masai Mara is very famous world over. It's considered now one of the, wonders of the world, natural wonders of the world. It's listed among the natural. The what you call the wildebeest migration is considered actually a wonder of the world. The reason is, you see, the Masai Mara National Park is bordering Kenya and Tanzania. So one side of the river there is a Mara River, and then there is this national park, and then the other side of the river is Serengeti National Park, which is in Tanzania. So Serengeti National Park is like 3 times the size of Masai Mara National Park. So you can imagine all the animals which are there. When they finish grazing over the grass and everything, they finish the whole place. They cross the river and come to Kenyan side. And now, so imagine you're putting people who are living in a 3-bedroom flat and put everybody in a 1-bedroom flat. So you can see the amount of animals population you can see in a specific spot. So that is the beauty of Masai Mara. That is why you never get, any time you visit, you will find animals. It's not like, you can't miss it. We call it Big Five. Big Five because we have got elephant, lion, cheetah, and then what do you call, even leopards. All these things are there, and then wildebeest and all those things are there. So you never miss animals. And it can be, it's like somebody, painting a picture or a drawing. You'll have a whole horizon and the landscape, and on one side you find some what do you call, deer, and the dig is a kind of deer, and then on the other side you find some lion, pride of lion sitting on the other side. It actually happened, and the other side you'll find some elephants. In one scene itself, you can see. They are coexisting. Of course, they are hunting each other down. That is a different thing, but that is how it is. So every time you visit that place, there are lodges inside the park, and then Kenya Wildlife Service, they do a good job, and it's just like a paramilitary. Basically, they got a lot of powers. There are rules and regulations when you visit the national parks. You can't go off road. You can't go into the grass or something like that. They only follow a certain path. So, and then there are a lot of tour companies who actually take you down, and like if you want to visit Kenya, like a week's trip is more than enough. And then you spend 2 nights 3 nights in Masai Mara, one couple of days in the coast. Coast are also beautiful. We have beautiful beaches. And south in Mombasa is the coastal city in Kenya, and then there is a south coast and north coast. South coast is even more beautiful compared to the north coast because it is less human traffic that side, and they've got long beaches there. So, and a lot of adventure sports and things like that happen there. So, you can get all that thing. Then, of course, there is Mount Kenya, which is the second largest peak in Africa, which is in Kenya itself. People do go for trekking and climbing. And from here, people also travel to Tanzania, which is actually a town called Arusha, which is a bordering Kenya. So from Arusha, Mount Kilimanjaro is very close. People actually go to climb Mount Kilimanjaro. A lot of people do. And it's something you can actually do by trekking and all those things. But you need to do some practice, because that air is thin at that level. And and it is the tallest peak in Africa, Kilimanjaro. It's got like a flat top, So that the whole natural beauty is very, very good. And another thing is like Nairobi itself has got a national park in the city. One side of as we come out of the airport, sometimes we are lucky in the morning, you'll find giraffe and zebras on the side of the road, basically. So it is, we are in a city which has got a national park inside the city. It's like that. So that they have preserved. So you see that is a uniqueness of the place. And coming to community and things like that, we got a sizable Indian population. Okay, not many. I would say that if you look at the whole country, we're looking at, let's say, we are a 45 million people, out of which maybe 200,000, 300,000 could be of Indian origin.
Okay.
Out of that, initially the Indians came from Gujarat and Punjab. They all came because East Africa was ruled by the British, just like India. So Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda was part of the British Empire.
Okay.
And when they wanted to build a railway line from Mombasa going all the way to Uganda, that is the time when a lot of Indians came to supervise the construction of the railway and things like that. So that was in the late, the beginning of the 20th century. That is the time when people came in, or even 1890, around there, people started coming from India actually. So what happened once the railway line was constructed, a lot of people settled down here. So they got into trading. They got into trading, businesses, construction, engineering. Especially the Sikhs, the Sadajis, they are very good in engineering side. We have the Shah community, which are very much into trading and manufacturing. Then the Patel community, which are very much into construction, building construction, things like that. So like that, we have that North Indian presence quite here. And then, I am mistaken for a Gujarati because my name Suraj sounds like a Gujarati. So started some of the times I make a phone call to somebody, said Suraj bhai came through, they started in Gujarati only. And now I follow very well because of most of my colleagues are Gujaratis.
Okay.
So that is how it is.
So your multilinguistic venture continues.
Yeah, I would say I picked up Gujarati in Kenya, not in India. And
so
nowadays,
do you understand the local language also, Suraj?
Well, unfortunately, I didn't learn that well, but I follow, and I can communicate in a small way.
Little bit small.
But whereas my wife picked it up very well, and especially when the time she was working in our Pristine, the water company, so she had picked up very well, and she can converse pretty well compared to me. But I can just do it a little bit, manage here and there. The good thing is, see, the beauty of the place is that this primary education is very strong here in Kenya. The schooling is very, very effective, and most of the people speak English. So then there is no need for you to learn the local language. You see, that is what happens. So otherwise, even some of the words they use, you will start wondering how did they pick up. Somebody must be a very junior person, and then the vocabulary is so good. So sometimes you wonder, but that is how it is. The schooling is excellent. And you'll be surprised, like we have the annual budget in the country. Education is the highest, allocation given. Most of the countries, defense will be given the maximum budgetary allocation. But in Kenya, education is given so they value education a lot. And that is the reason why primary and secondary education is excellent. But okay, universities are limited. So people tend to travel from here, either go to India, UK, or Canada to study. That's what it is.
Okay, this last 1 year, I think has been quite a change for all of us, and we have all got impacted in many different manner. And I specifically know that you specifically personally got impacted quite a lot by COVID. So what will be your, let's say, advice to people? Because sometimes you hear this thing of some people saying that, okay, ek baar ho jane do, let's get the COVID and be done with it and all. So can you share maybe how challenging was it for you when you were infected by COVID, and what might be the way to, I don't know whether to avoid, but what can be done?
How to manage it, actually, yeah.
How to manage it, yes.
Exactly, yeah. See, I never expected I will get COVID in the first place. So, it doesn't affect you till it hits you personally, that is what happens. COVID, we heard it's happening in, you have the first wave and second wave and things like that, and in India and in the Europe and all when it was happening. So I never thought that it is like something so close, just next door, it can come from anywhere, it's like that. So it so happened that it was in the month of July last year, towards the end of July. My dad wasn't keeping well. He was in India. And that time we had this lockdown and there were no international flights. So I was quite stressed. That was pretty serious that time. And then I was not able to travel that time. So it so happened that around that time I got it and I didn't realize that I had it. So, but at the same time, I was like becoming weak and, No, and probably the reason I could not understand was because maybe I was thinking that I was affected by what was happening to my dad in India, back in India. So uh, I got fever, and my wife was also thinking what's happening with him. So I avoided going to office for a couple of days. Then she said, and then I was sleeping most of the time. And then she thought it must be a coping mechanism, because dad is so serious. So and he can't travel to India. So maybe it's a coping mechanism for him. So she was letting me sleep and things like that. But I was getting weaker every day. And then the fever was never getting reduced. So we had a family doctor. And that time, everybody's scared to even meet because this COVID was happening everywhere. And the doctor was all prescribing through telephone only.
Online.
And then finally, she called up one of her family friends, and then a doctor came and checked me. And she said that, Suraj, your saturation levels are so low, you have to get admitted right now. Like that. So my saturation levels were like 70% at that time. And we didn't realize. So basically, I reached the hospital. I remember being scanned in the CT scan machine. After that, I don't remember anything. I just switched off. So then I ended up in the ICU and the ventilator. I was in the ventilator for 11 days. And I came out of the ventilator, and then I was in the hospital for another 10, 12 days, almost 14 days, I think. Almost a month I was in the hospital totally. And the recovery was very slow because once you are out of the ventilator, then your muscles don't move, your body don't move. And then that, you need physiotherapy to get back. So, and then the weakness and then the breathing issues continue. So I got discharged and came home. Then I spent about 2-3 weeks at home only. And then I was on oxygen support initially. Then slowly the doctor said you can stop it. And the post-COVID recovery, it takes quite a lot of time. See, in my case, when they did the CT scan, we had a CT score of 22 by 25, which is like 88% of your lungs are affected. It's like that. So it was pretty severe. What saved me, I would say, is that I had very good medical support. I mean, that time, it was not, the doctors were not bombarded with cases, so they could give attention. And because my sister and brother-in-law both are doctors in the UK, they were in daily touch with our doctor. So they were, and then the UK also had a serious case at that time. So they had some treatment protocols. And then they suggested some medication, and then which was not available here locally. So they arranged some medication from South Africa. And one of the medicine called toxicizumab. I was perhaps the first person to be administered that medicine in Kenya. So that all contributed to the recovery. And after I gained consciousness, I was in the hospital. Then initially it was a confused state of mind. So there is a joke going around that I called up I was not having the phone. I was given the phone like after a couple of days. Then I'm seeing messages, I have no idea about the dates, how many days I've been in the hospital and things like that. And my sister calls me on a video call, and I told her that, Bochu, I was here for like a couple of days. Now I'm probably going back in a day or two, like that. Then she said, no, you have not been there for a couple of days. You have been there for almost 2-3 weeks now, like that. So, and then my wife called up my boss and told that, make sure that Suraj doesn't make any financial decisions for this company, for your company at this time, because I think he's confused and he's talking rubbish. So no, it was like it's like rebooting your computer. It's something like that. That is the experience.
Rebirth in a way.
Yeah. And I mean, even the mind, the way it works, things take time to catch up and understand and things like that. And more than that, the weakness, the general body weakness that you have, that to recover can take months and months together. So after 2 months down the line, I had checkups every 2-3 months. So when we went to the doctor after doing another scan, he said that, Suraj, you're 90% okay. It's a remarkable recovery. So thank God you didn't have any, what do you call, underlying conditions. So if you had, it would have been complicated. Luckily, you don't have. But at the same time, you need to do breathing exercises, and you need to do your own exercises and stuff like that. Then only it will help your lungs to come back to the normal. So it's a very dangerous disease, and you can't take it lightly. It's not that you say that you get it and you go. I mean, you can Now vaccine is available. I think what vaccine has done is vaccine has reduced the impact. Even if you get infection, the vaccine will it has got antibodies in your body. It has provided with antibodies, so that will help counter the effect of the virus. So I mean, my advice to everybody is that don't say that let it come and go. It's not like that.
Yes.
First of all, if you get a chance, get vaccinated. We also got vaccinated. I got both my doses. And again, AstraZeneca, our COVID shield is what we also had. Kenya only got about 1 million doses from AstraZeneca. Then second dose did not come. The reason being that India has banned exports of,
India,
because of the second wave in India. So there are no more exports. So a lot of countries are depending on this Serum Institute, for the COVID shield vaccine second dose to come through. So now it started coming. We all got it. So, but a lot of people still needs to get it. Even in India, I was reading yesterday that we had a couple of days back, I think, we had something like 69 lakh people or 7 million people getting vaccinated in one day.
Yes.
So that's a remarkable achievement. I mean, whoever gets a chance, they should go and get vaccinated, get the 2 doses done with. That's what I can say.
Okay. So let's come to the last question, which maybe you are being asked, but at least I need to ask you. So let's say post-retirement, whenever it happens, because you are an entrepreneur plus a professional, will you ever consider coming back to India, or will you be settling there? Because for me, you had introduced Bangalore to me, because the first time I came to Bangalore was when I came and I stayed with your family for a couple of days, and I think got the hospitality which was there. What we are seeing in this photograph, the Three Musketeers, so-called, we are again part in a Bangalore metro, and staying in Bangalore, I had not got into the metro. So
correct.
All three of us got into it, and that's why we got some photographs made.
Exactly.
Is there any thought process which you have given about maybe where you guys might want to finally settle down?
Probably Bangalore, actually. Probably Bangalore, because Bangalore is like home for us.
Yeah.
My dad initially was saying that he wanted to settle in long time back, saying that he wanted to go back to Kerala once he retires. But after he retired, he never felt that he was in State Bank of Mysore that time, and then he retired after serving about 32 years in the bank. So he said that, no, I mean, Bangalore is my place, so let me be in Bangalore. So for us also, we spend our maximum time in Bangalore. So we are more comfortable there. Going to Kerala, the humidity is too high, the temperature is the heat is too much. So we find it very difficult. We get dehydrated quite fast. Maybe because of the climate we are used to here. So probably Bangalore, if at all we decide to come back and stay. This thing. Actually, you are aware that I lost my dad last year, in November last year. So my mom is there in Bangalore. So technically, Bangalore is home. So Bangalore is going to be our place.
So wonderful. I think so. It was so nice connecting with you, because, as I said, we spent 2 wonderful years, and I think. Given that it was residential, and as you had pointed out, we were in the same groups all throughout. So other than maybe going to sleep and all, we used to spend all the whatever time we had was together and all. So I really missed connecting with you. But now with, I think, some of these technologies which is available, so you are there, I'm here, and we are talking about your Zindagi Ka Safar, which is as interesting and as motivating as it can be. So wish you all the best, and do enjoy your birthday and many more to come, as I had said earlier. And whenever I come or you come over, we'll have a party which is due from your side.
Yeah, definitely. Not only that, I would want you to visit with the family to Kenya.
Yes,
we'll go to Masai Mara together.
Yeah, we have to do that.
Yes. In fact, some of our friends did come. Like Sudeep was here.
Sudeep had come.
Sudeep had traveled down. Yeah, had come with family. Then, of course, Cherry used to come on work long time back. And recently, recently means last 1 year nobody's traveling, and prior to that, Randy was here. Randy was in Nairobi here. Yeah, so work related, he was here. So whoever lands up in Nairobi, normally we do get together. So definitely plan yourself with family to come down. It will be a lovely visit. I know with this pandemic going on and with the travel restrictions, it's not possible at this time. But whenever
maybe
things,
a couple of years, hopefully, everything.
Yeah, surely. That's right.
Okay, bye then. Wish you all the best.
Bye. Yeah, thank you for having me. Thank you.